one that only records one voice and not the other and whatever. Hello everyone! Welcome to the NerdShelf. My name is Anders Mauritz, and as always, joining me is Mr. Matthias.
Hello!
These are just getting later and later on the month.
Yeah,
But
we've been so busy.
super busy. I have still so much to do in Persona 5, and my girlfriend convinced me to get Stardew Valley. That was a fucking mistake.
I didn't really catch on, but maybe I'll have to give it a second chance.
She asked me this weekend, like the entire weekend. She was like, "Have you?" She didn't like straight out ask me because she's not really a gamer in that sense, and also since she's not a gamer, she's really prone to like, yeah, I get my own Steam account and buy a bunch of games that I want to try. No, so she uses my Steam account, which is fine. We can both play as long as one of us has the offline mode
exactly.
on. But on Sunday, I went home from after a weekend at her place, and I just got the game like before I left. Like, okay, I get it. I'm getting the game, and then you can play this, and you can try it out. And that was like around 6:00 at the evening, and around 9 or 10, she sends me a Snapchat with her tired face, being like, "Oh my god, I've played Stardew Valley till now. I started when you left." She's weak for those simulator games, man.
Well,
They just eat up your time. I tried it and I'm like, yeah, I might get into like the social thing in it with the talking to the people, but
yeah, I mean, I get why people get really attached to the game. It's just not my kind of game, and
right,
I want it to be.
we are.
But
I don't want
I
to
mean, you can't like everything. Me, on the other hand, got pulled back into the freaking World of Warcraft swamp.
Yeah. Are you?
Please end me.
Are you?
Like, friends of ours whisper me like, hey, you know that trailer they released? Yeah, I'm thinking of going back. I'm so ashamed because I thought I'd let go of the game. But man,
Yeah.
I really thought I'd kick the habit this time. But they pulled me back. So I'm asking for a friend. Is this the only thing I need to buy? And I was like, yeah, you can buy that. And then one more, and then another, and now I've been playing for a week straight.
Wow.
And oh boy, I thought I kicked it.
Yeah. Are you any interested in the classic servers? What do you think that's even going to be?
People are gonna hate it.
Yeah, because
Because only the fixed population that use those private servers are probably gonna play there. The other people are going like, oh, we're going to back to vanilla. And a lot of them are people that started in Wrath of the Lich King or later, and they will have not experienced those.
But
I mean,
that's also what vanilla. What is vanilla?
Yeah.
Wow, like the startup, like the first patches, they are awful, probably.
horrible.
And personally, I would much rather. I mean, I'm a Burning Crusade
Yeah, that's
guy.
what I heard as well.
You also started at the Burning Crusade, right?
I think we started. I was about level 50, I think, when
I started after. Yeah, I started after you, but I knew that Burning Crusade was a thing when I started playing WoW.
Yeah. And as you say, Burning Crusade would have been a so much better place to start
Mm.
for this. Because, as well, when World of Warcraft celebrated, I think that it was their 10-year anniversary,
Oh,
which
jeez.
is 3 years ago, they introduced...
Wow.
It's right now it's the 13th anniversary, fun fact.
Okay.
Just right now. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, they released Molten Core again as a looking for raid grade.
Oh yeah, yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and I mean that was horrible. People were like 3 bosses in. Well, that's done. No, we have 10 more bosses to go.
I watched a stream with Jesse Cox and Krendor, where
Yeah.
they both of them are like they're not experts, but they have played since the beginning, like
Oh
the
yeah.
very beginning, so they knew what they were going into,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's so hilarious to like they and like a few others were actually knowledgeable about this way of raiding, because that
Mm.
was like it's like a 40-man raid.
Yeah, it's for the man raid.
That's crazy, and something that I really think they should incorporate into their newer expansions also, just as a like a treat to more dedicated hardcore players. But yeah, that was hilarious. People being like not aware that, oh, if I pull this mob, then that could risk pulling the entirety of this dungeon.
Yeah, and like, oh,
Because
these mobs need to die all at the same time, or they will come back. Don't pull more um don't pull more mobs than you need to. This boss casts a curse that needs to be dispelled as soon as possible. Shamans, dispel. I haven't dispelled anything in 5 expansions.
oh, that's
Oh god. It
yeah.
was hell, and they put a low drop rate item at the end of Ragnaros. So it's like, oh, you didn't get it? Well, try again tomorrow. But no, I won't. I won't.
No. Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway.
Anyway. So, for our last month's suggestions of what to do, you had to watch a cartoon. Tell us about.
Yes, I did. I was set out to watch Voltron,
Yes.
the animated series.
The new one, because there's
Yeah,
a lot of Voltron. I after watching this one, I wasn't aware of how much. I knew that it was an anime or something like that from like the 80s, but there have been so much of it up till this one. And yeah, what did you think?
So yeah, I was like, oh right, I was supposed to watch this. I watched the first episode of the first season of the new one, of course,
Yes.
with the one drawn by the Avatar.
Yeah, it's
Team.
mostly the same team that made Legend of Korra and
Yeah, and I realized, oh, this episode is an hour long, eh?
all right.
And after I was done with that, I was like, is this it? Did I just watch a season's worth of material being condensed into 1 hour? I'm like, this whole season is they're supposed to go find the big tiger man, lion man, cat man, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they do it and everything's happy. I was like, yeah, what the rest of the season? There's no drama left. And I was so discouraged. I was like, no, I'm not gonna watch anymore. This is stupid. And then one night, I was like, I have to watch a bit more. And then, maybe I'll watch another episode. And then another. And then there were 3 episodes left, and it was 3 a.m. So I was like, better watch the last 3 episodes of this season. So I couldn't stop watching once I actually got into it.
That's so funny, because that's the exact same experience I had.
Is it?
Yeah. Um, because they really just want to get started as fast as possible, but
Yeah.
that will like things have to suffer, I guess, if you want to do such a fast start to it all. Um, I was thinking of other things that did the same, like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is a series that I felt did the same, because they were like, oh, people already know about this stuff, so the first 10 episodes is like a condensed version of half the original series, and then after that it's fine.
Oh, it's super good.
Yeah. How do you like the characters in this?
Again, I
In
didn't
Voltron?
really care for them in the beginning,
Mm.
but yeah, they actually grow on me. I'm not sure if we're supposed to put a spoiler warning for season 1 or
Yeah,
anything, but
it's on Netflix.
nah,
People go.
yeah,
go
it's on Netflix. Go
do
watch it.
Mm.
Go watch it now before continuing the podcast.
Wow.
No, don't do that. Or do. Yeah, I kind of. I mean, there's certainly a group dynamic they have formed, because everyone kind of gets on everyone's nerves in some sort of way.
Yeah.
And the mission throughout the series will be that, oh, will they finally be able to work together despite their differences? But because there's always one person's fault or something one person did that's super good, or someone else is like, this is my character, this is how I act, and this is why this happens.
Definitely.
You have the...
But they try to subvert a lot. Like that's almost the name of the game when it comes to that series. I felt like,
Yeah.
okay, we have because the oh god, now I don't. It was so long since I watched it.
I don't have the names either.
I don't have the names.
Take the colors.
Yes, the red guy. He, in like the original series, he is like the guy in red is the main protagonist. That's the guy we follow. And this one, he is definitely portrayed in the beginning as like, yeah, that's the typical like hero guy. He's kind of flawed and so on.
But he's good with other things.
Yes, but then we have his polar opposite, which is the guy that drives the Blue Lion, and they are both equally capable, and that's very fun, I think. And they have a leader in the group, and he's like tall and handsome, and he has this robot arm,
but it has this flawed past that haunts him.
But he's not the main character either, really. No. Sort of the only one that I feel is like, yes, this is a main character. It's either the princess or it's the green driver. I can't remember her name.
Me neither.
Okay, but because that her whole deal is like, oh my god, I can't find my father and brother.
Yeah, she has the motivation.
Yes, so and I have watched everything, so I have like gotten that.
Stuff.
I know stuff, but they certainly drive that whole thing a bit deeper, and also the like you see the. It's so stupid when I just talk about the colors, but like the, and I don't even remember his colors. The big guy.
Yellow.
Yes, he's you watch him and you're like, okay, he's the guy that eats. That's what he do. But he's super smart as an engineer, and like when he and the girl they like nerd out on stuff. That's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like and he's not just eating; he's a very good cook also. On top of that, so and
I mean, because his character is more like, he's big, he's jolly, but he's also the one who tries. I mean, because his cat, lion, tiger, whatever. Yeah. I don't remember. Is it lion?
It's a lion. It's lions.
Lions, yeah.
Yeah.
Because his is the tanky one.
Yeah.
He's more in the protector role,
Mm.
and his and that also and that mirrors his
Personality
what's it called?
or like
His actions
his
outside of the
actions. Yeah.
lion,
Mm.
because he's trying to keep the group together, and he always tries. I mean, in the episode where in season 1 when they get those uh, not junkies, junkers that
Yeah.
steal the lion,
Mm-hmm.
tries to sell it. He's the one. He's also always. I mean, sure, other things happen throughout the episode that prompted that response, but in that episode, he's like, something's not right. Something is not right here.
Yeah. Uh,
And
that is a good thing that that team and especially the writers, that is the same writers I think that was on the Last Airbender and
mm,
definitely Legend of Korra. It's all actions is driven by the personality,
yeah,
so nothing that happens you feel is like, no, that is just to move the plot along. No, it's always like, how, okay, if we put up this scenario, how would this character act within that scenario? And that's
yeah,
how you should, obviously, you could say that, of course, that's how you should do a story, but I think it's very important also, like, these kind of stories, the this one with no
just
clear protagonist and no clear, like, it's a war, so everything can happen, and also like
yeah,
with kid shows, because kids shows is generally filled with colorful characters, so
hmm
and that is something that is honed in on much that is created today. Like, I love Gravity Falls because of the same thing. Not everything that's happening and the actions that is that the characters do is always grounded in their personality. You
yeah.
never feel like, no, that's the worst
That's what that character
episodes.
wouldn't do.
Yeah, I
It's
think,
really grounded in character. I agree with that.
yeah, I think that's something that the team from last Avatar: The Last Airbender learned, because they definitely did that in the series, and that's why people really loved it. They had strong characters, but the episodes that people talk about being the worst from that is the ones that just had a plot and some
Mm.
and there is one specific with it was called like the Great. Have you watched? Yeah, you have watched The Last Airbender.
Korra, yes.
Okay, you haven't watched the one with Aang, the first one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we watched it.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. And there was one that's called like the Great Gap or something, that they led to rivaling
Mm.
clans through a like some sort of cliffside or what you call it, and one clan is very like posh and nice looking, and the other ones are more barbaric,
Oh,
and
I can see this. I mean, even the title just mirrors
yeah.
what this episode's gonna be about.
And Sokka leads the barbarians, and Katara leads the posh people, and Aang is like, oh God, how am I going to be like? I'm trying to unite them, and it's very like paper thin. The like you said, like, yeah, I can see this just laid out. I know what this is about.
Yeah, the Great
It's
Divide.
the
Yeah,
Great Divide, of course. It's, yeah, um, and in the end, it's just everything is resolved by Aang, the this character that we have learned is like, he's very pure of heart. He's very
yeah,
nice to everyone. He's lying in the end.
yeah.
That's how everything is resolved, and everyone is like, what, really? Couldn't like put a, yeah. So Uh, anyway, so like
So overall, I really enjoyed what
yeah,
I seen, and now that I've
okay,
seen the first season, I'm probably gonna like
yeah.
fall back onto this series. Like, oh, I
Uh,
haven't anything to watch.
it's
Guess I'll
just
watch another episode.
yeah, it just gets shorter.
Oh,
Also, they get less and less episodes.
um,
Unfortunately, like
yeah, unfortunately,
but
good for me to get
they have yeah, like the latest season is like four episodes, but they are really like well made episodes. So the budget is sort of condensed.
Oh.
So it feels more like a mini series, almost a movie.
Hmm. Can't
That is
wait.
that is a nice format. Like Netflix works for cartoons in that way, that you
Yeah,
can
that's
actually
really good.
make a thread go through it in that way. Just quickly, like we talked way too much about World of Warcraft,
Yeah, sorry.
but yeah, what, let's see how long we will talk about. Next thing I watched yesterday. Yesterday I came. I remember like, oh God, yeah, I was supposed to watch the. How do you say it?
the Dar the Darjeeling Limited.
The Darjeeling Limited.
Darjeeling, like the tea.
Oh, okay, I get it.
I think Darjeeling is a sort of tea.
I think, but it's okay. So that sign, like the title in the beginning of the movie, that's on the train.
Yeah, the train is
Uh,
called the Darjeeling Limited.
okay.
But I think the Darjeeling Limited, I mean just the word Darjeeling is
Mm,
a sort of tea.
okay.
But yeah, the train's name is the Darjeeling Limited.
And before that, I watched a 13-minute short
Short.
on like
Yeah.
it's one of the brothers that this movie is about is on a in a hotel room, and his love interest, girlfriend or
Yes.
someone shows up and they have sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. And uh, I mean, it was nicely made, very
Mhm.
tasteful short film, and
Love the
and
song.
yeah, everything like that was very nice. Um, and not that this would be have been like needed, but I
No,
mean,
it's not crucial.
I didn't need it. I didn't need it for the movie, which
No.
is good, I guess, because that's would have been horrible if that be the
Yeah, if they
case.
made a movie, it's
The-
like,
it-
yeah, haven't you watched this 30-minute thing that explains the
I,
backstory?
I think that if someone that haven't watched that short would have been very confused at that one camera sweep where you see Natalie Portman
Yeah.
in a bed, and you're like, what? Natalie Portman is in this movie? No, no, not anymore. Like she's there she was. She's in this movie less than Bill Murray. It's like, yeah, Bill Murray is in this because it's a Wes Anderson movie. And I mean, it's not like Wes Anderson is one of those auteur
Yeah.
directors that you're like, I could probably like get into watching more of his stuff, because everything I watch from him is at least like nice to watch. Like
Yeah.
that at bare minimum, this is very nice to watch. And this movie was definitely like, I enjoyed a lot of it. And even the parts where I was kind of bored of it, because it's in my mind it's a Wes Anderson movie, so there's going to be a few like people are going to sit down silent, and the camera's just gonna be still, and it's gonna be a very nice looking picture, but it's
But nothing happens.
not much going to happen. but like how Wes Anderson do like visual gags is so good, and also like impactful. Like I written down even like the one scene that I wanted to like I want to remember it, but I wouldn't even need that note because like the best small moment in the movie is when what's his name, the the blonde brother, the eldest. He's played by we can say the actor's name, like
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson's character.
Francis.
He takes off his bandages from his face in a scene. All of them they are grooming themselves, like the one of the brothers he's shaving, and the other one he's trimming his mustache, and Owen Wilson's character he's like it's both like funny, sad, and very like nice to look at, like because I have followed these three characters on this train, and it's very, and he's like watching the mirror, and it's like, yeah, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to do this now. I feel healed, and he takes it off, and he's definitely not healed. He has these big cracks in his face and a bit of blood on the nose, and he just looks horrible, and they're like, yeah, it probably needs a bit more healing. Yeah. And it's so very nice in the way that it's tell you about his emotions also, because I think that's also the point, like he is very close to his brothers at that moment, but just because you think that at that moment just doesn't really mean you're fully healed. You might need a bit more time, and and that this movie,
but it's like enough to. It moves on a few levels, yeah.
Yeah, and it makes a few like crazy turns, like when they get thrown off that train.
Yeah.
and then they find the young boys in the river, and
yeah, that point.
Part, like whoa, and I have seen Fantastic Mr. Fox and the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yes.
And I have I watched
Moonrise Kingdom?
I wonder if I have, not fully. So that should be the next Wes Anderson movie I watch. Should be Moonrise Kingdom. But Darjeeling Unlimited is like the most, like when you watch it, it shifts between Wes Anderson's like what people have this image of what a Wes Anderson movie looks like. It's framed very specifically, and the colors is very specific. But this movie, like they take the camera outside of that frame so often, and that's kind of crazy to me when that happens. You're like, no, I'm not safe anymore, and I think that's like, but I don't know if that is the point. I really like that when they were on the train. All the camera angles was very deliberate, and of course they are, because they're like, also
so much room to work with.
Yeah, I love the beginning of the movie with the smoking joke. They made a smoke joke, like, but no smoking, and the camera just pans fast over to the brothers, and all of them are having a cigarette in their mouth, and I don't know, it's not really a joke, but it's just so perfectly timed and framed, so it just gets a chuckle.
Yeah, I mean, you can't not laugh or smile at it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's a very special film. I can't really put my finger on why.
Wes Anderson.
I'd recommend that you check out. Nerd Rider has a nice video on it.
I should no, yeah, I haven't watched that one because I have was planning to watch the movie. Yes, that's a video I'm going to watch right after this. Okay, yeah,
Yay.
but yeah, Wes Anderson, the best director to make lovable sad characters, and
Oh
like a
yeah.
bunch of them. There's like a bunch of people that I'm like, yeah, these are kind of horrible people, but I want the best for them.
Yeah.
The yeah, so very nice. Okay, now we have been talking for like
Half an hour.
half an hour almost. So let's get into what what the big title is. Like the title of this this video. What we're going to now. Now we can't be short on this because we have to push this above like at least 30 minutes of Stranger Things season 2 talk, because it's have to be the bulk of the episode, or else why would I put the
Why would we even?
I have a picture in the middle of this video and everything.
Yeah, look at it.
Yeah, just it's wonderful. I don't know how I made that picture.
Don't know what picture it's gonna be, but it's gonna be a picture.
Yeah, I thinking it's going to be more than the title, at least. But let's see. So, getting into the season, you're a fan of Stranger Things season 1? Like, of course, you were the one that brought this up last month, so I guess you're like pumped to talk about it. But and I'm a huge fan. Are you are you still a fan now? Like, is it still like the majority of Stranger Things is good, or is it 50-50?
Wait, how do you mean by that? What do you mean by
like
that?
now we have 2 seasons, which means if it's 50-50, it means that one season is bad and one is good.
Oh. Well, I'm a bit split on that opinion because I haven't rewatched season 1. Actually,
No.
I haven't touched
Me
it
neither.
since I first watched it. I didn't even watch the recap. So there's a lot of things that I had to rediscover when I watched season 2. But the immediate feeling I got was that it didn't feel like a season 2.
Okay.
It felt like a continuation of season 1.5, if you'd like.
Oh, yeah.
Because so many storylines were never they were never tied up. They were like I mean most of the storylines presented in season 2 originate from season 1 in some way.
Yeah.
And it's only after season 2 we really feel like I don't know what's coming next.
That
Because
is true.
because the season 1 ended with a cliffhanger, like let's see if I remember all the names. No, I don't need to because I have IMDb.
Yeah.
No, what's it called? Not Mike, not Dustin. Will? Yeah, Will. Like Will, our poor boy that has to play victim in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
He, like they end season 1 with him puking up the
little
upside down slugs.
The upside down thingy.
The essence of the upside down. And it's like, okay, there's a point you're going to continue on. We have the conclusion that Eleven's still alive. She's just hiding in the forest somehow.
They just ended season 1 with a bunch of those things. Like they had Jim Hopper in the forest leaving things for 11, they had
Yeah.
Jim Hopper getting papers from mystical men in a black car.
Oh, I don't remember this
Yeah,
one.
yeah, and that was, and I didn't really remember that, so which made me kind of confused in season 2 when he had such a close talk to them about all of these things, and he had so much, he was so allowed to go in and into the facilities and everything. But then I remember, like, yeah, right, he allowed them to do this. He's part of this in a way.
Yeah.
He keeping things secret from the season's new character. One of the new characters, which I will get into later.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, overall, like after watching season 2, and it's I feel I liked it, and I'm a huge I'm a huge fan of part 2s. That is the thing that I'm keep on saying to people. Like, most of my favorite things within pop culture, movies and games, books, whatever, is continuations. Since I'm such a fan of deeper characters,
Yeah.
I'm not like after you have watched so many movies and things, you kind of get tired of the origin story of certain type of people, like the presentation part. I'm kind of done with it, but I see the need for it. I kind of few movies I'm always like, yeah, I would rather see you actually have a presentation. Like, I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of Spider-Man Homecoming, for example, because they didn't have a proper presentation for the main character in that one. They just assumed we were caught up.
Yeah.
And that's not how you do a new movie. Like, that's how you make a second movie.
Yeah. So I agree with you, and also as you're saying, like season 1, we kind of got to know these kids.
Yeah, and now, like, getting deeper into, like, I there was much less of Mike in this one, but the part
I was gonna
Mike,
say that.
yeah, but the part of Mike I really enjoyed, because they attached him to Will this time around, and the thing is, like, oh, they are getting older, so the idea of a certain leader for the group is kind of deteriorating, like, and they are getting into, like, they like girls and what, and
Yeah, exactly. That.
and things like that. So, like, making Mike a guy that we now understand. Oh, he likes to be a leader. He doesn't really like that to be pushed away, but most of all, and what I think he will find in himself, is like he wants to take care of people, and now he takes care of Will.
Yeah, that showed really hard when I mean it was probably very intended.
Yeah.
And when he was like, oh, I feel like this, and then Will comes up and is like, I feel weird, and he immediately latches on to Will.
Yeah, and
because he has, like you say, he has this leader, not complex, but it's like
yeah, I think
he kind of needs someone.
and
I mean, of course, most of that was because he missed Ella.
yeah, and that is shown, like, in early on in the season when they dress up as Ghostbusters. And Mikey have this idea of, like, yeah, you should be this guy, you should be this guy, you should be this guy, and Lucas is like, says, like, no, I don't want to be. I don't even know what's his name.
I think, isn't it Willis?
Willis, yeah, I think it's Willis.
Sorry, Ghostbusters fans, I don't remember.
I don't either. because he's a character. He's a character that comes in late in the movie, and Luke, and that sort of reflects on the audience perspective on Lucas, because he was definitely of Will was in the upside down during the entire season 1, but he was a very central part of the story. Lucas, on the other hand, not so much in season 1. He gets
I actually didn't really connect those dots until you said it right now.
So like portraying him like, you're this guy that audience doesn't necessarily directly think of when they think of Ghostbusters, just as most audience maybe when they think of season 1 of Stranger Things, they don't think of Lucas.
No, they think about Eleven or Mikey.
Mikey, or even Dustin, who is a very adorable young man without teeth.
He's also very iconic.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, his curly hair and his lisp.
Yeah, he's got a good like silhouette to him.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they also bring in the like, and I was like watching that, like, oh, they're gonna make this racial. It's gonna make this racial, and he just, it's because I'm black, isn't it? They're like, yeah. And that's such an uncomfortable thing.
True. Yeah.
That was.
I reacted the same way. I was like, ooh,
super sidetrack on that.
That's true.
Like in school today, we started to talk about the Jumanji movie that's coming up, and for some reason and we had recently watched. Me and a few friends had just watched Justice League, so I thought, like, the actor that plays Cyborg, isn't that the same guy that's like the jock in the beginning of the trailers to Jumanji? Just from the top of my head, and I started to watch my phone, and one of my friends that sat next to me didn't really think too much of what me and another guy talked about, but that guy, he's darker, so like my other friend just said, like, yeah, you better be right on this one, or else you're a racist. And my other friend, he just slowly turns his head with a big smile on his mouth, like, yeah. So what is it? They're not the same actor.
Was it the?
They were not the same actors. In Cyborg
you had a
was
big
playing,
party laughing
Cyborg was very uncomfortable. Like that moment to be such a white boy as I am, like, being like, oh no, I don't want to be in this situation anymore.
Get me out of there.
I don't know. So anyway.
Yeah, but that's true. I agree. Because, as you were saying, this season focuses more on Lucas and Dustin.
Yeah, and their sort of rivalry. Because they are filling up the sort of same spot in the group. So it's a lot about group dynamic.
Yeah, exactly. The group dynamics of them are pretty similar.
Yeah. So now it is like, and they are in the beginning putting up, like, it's almost like they are putting up a prize, and that prize is a new character in this season, Max Mayfield. And they sort of made her a prize to be won in the beginning.
Yeah.
And
I wonder if the Dragon's Lair was a metaphor for that.
Oh, didn't even think about that. That's awesome. That could very much be like that, because Dustin thinks about this thing, think about her as a thing. He's very much about his things, like, oh, I got this thing, and that thing proves me. I want a girl because that will prove me. I have this little monster thing because that will prove me.
Yeah.
And that screws up for him very much. It just shows that no, like in the end, Lucas
He's
gets
blinded
the
by his
girl.
obsession.
Yeah, Lucas gets the girl because he's a charming young man. It's a bit
Exactly, and he didn't.
stalkerish.
Yeah, I was wondering, the thing I said about Dragon's Den, have you watched the behind the scenes episodes?
The Beyond Stranger Things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I have watched all of them.
Because I think they mentioned Dragon's Lair, but I don't remember what the metaphor was, and I might have said that as the
Yeah.
metaphor for Max.
Oh, there's a lot of like cool metaphors that I missed that they talked about, like the episode where they talked about Dig Dug, and
Yeah, it was
there's
Dig Dug they mentioned.
They talked about Dig Dug.
Yeah,
Dragon's Lair was um,
maybe they
definitely
mentioned
a
that.
game they talked about playing as kids, but that was mostly they said like, yeah, we wanted to make a comment on that. What a quarter eater that game was. Just eats.
Yeah, that arcade cabinet is like,
Yeah, it's a monster.
oof, you died. Sorry, another quarter, another
Yeah.
quarter, another quarter.
Yeah, and Dragon's Lair is brutal in that
Yeah, it's
sense.
brutal. But yeah, they have a really interesting dynamic because this season splits them up with Lucas and Dustin, and then Mike and Will. But then Will happens to
Will.
become the victim once again,
Yeah.
and Mike is left on his own and doesn't get a lot of time.
That's true. Oh.
But kudos on Will for being a really great possessed actor.
Oh, what's his name? Noah.
Yeah, Noah Schnapp. Noah
Yeah.
Schnapp.
It's Noah Schnapp. There just came out a IMDb exclusive No Small Parts on the actors, and
Nice.
I'm like, oh my god, they have so many acting credits already, all of them.
Yeah.
Finn Wolfhard have been in like several he have been in music videos and a short film, and Caleb, who plays Lucas, he have been in a short film, the main character, and Noah was the voice actor for Charlie Brown in the latest Peanuts movie. So it's very
Kind of love. It sounds weird to say, but I freaking love those actors.
They're so good,
They're
and I'm
so
looking
good.
forward.
They're good off screen. They're great on screen. I love their chemistry. I will link you a video after we're done with this.
Yeah.
It's a panel with Millie and
Millie Bob Brown plays 11.
Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown and what's his name? The guy who plays Hopper.
Oh, David Harbour.
David Harbour. Those two have an amazing chemistry.
Oh,
There's an hour.
which shows on screen.
It's an hour panel. I'll link it to you later. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many good chemistries in this one. This season specifically.
Oh yeah.
Just like with Dustin and
Steve.
yeah, Steve. Like, oh my god, screw you, Stranger Things, for making me like the bully. But he just
because they were here's something that's worse. That just Steve was like, oh no, he's just like not manipulated, but like peer pressured and all that.
Yeah, it's
Because
so...
holy crap, what a redemption story!
Oh yeah, and
Steve is fantastic.
And that actor, he's so good in that role, and the scene, I was genuinely like so worried because Stranger Things is great in that way. you actually don't know who will live or die in this, in a
No,
sense
no,
that
no.
that you get from like Game of Thrones is now a joke in that sense of like, oh, everyone can die, blah.
Don't get
But
attached to this character, they're
yeah,
gonna die.
but Stranger Things just and
Yeah, that's
uh,
the charm of it. You really don't know what's coming next
yeah,
because everything's on the table.
even like they can the first season. I love the like hashtag justice for Barbara
Yeah,
was a thing. Like she wasn't in it too much, but she had this super iconic look to her, very 80s look with the glasses and everything, and
the
the
wallflower
and
look.
how and how she acted against what's her name, Nancy,
That's
and how she died later on. Oh, that's so sad, and with this
yeah.
season, the KFC scene, the
Oh,
when they eat with the parents, it's so good. Uh,
yeah, it's really good. And after that we finally got closure
yeah,
on Barb.
yeah, but
And that was
they sort of have to lie about it,
yeah.
and it's it's so weird how that went, but yeah, it's
Yeah, it's weird, but as you say, Barb was she had a really big impact on the whole show
yeah.
because her death is probably the catalyst for a lot of these characters.
Oh, that's you're right about that.
I mean, it's what drives Nancy this season, Nancy and
Or
Jonathan,
um, let's see, yeah,
and also
Jonathan.
yeah.
And, oh, that's it's so like
I
we
mean,
are.
because what would happen if it wasn't her? If it was someone they didn't know, many more people might have died. We don't know that.
That is true. Oh,
And
the
Nancy has this. I wouldn't say, because okay. Now I just don't remember season one. Was she friends with Barb or not? Or was it
Nancy.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
they
sure,
were
Barb can
like
follow.
they were really close.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. They were.
Nancy and
What
Barb
was
were
they were,
like tight, super tight
yeah.
buddies. But
Sorry, I just don't
Nancy
remember.
but Nancy wanted to be in this party and
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
be more cool, and Barb was, like you
She was
said, a
holding her
wallflower.
back.
Yeah, so Barb went away that night and she sat next to the pool and the Demogorgon got her.
Yeah.
Oh, the
So bad.
yeah, it's amazing to like look back to season one and the Byers family with Joyce, Jonathan, and Will.
Oh.
Um,
Mm.
how this have how these events have now in season two made them a much tighter family. They are
Yeah,
so
they were
much
really
closer because of this
inde-
horrific event.
yeah, because they were really independent characters from the beginning.
Yeah, and Jonathan was like he was not very dependable, and so but in this
No.
season he's uh, at least in the beginning he's like I need to be there for my mom and brother, but
Yeah.
then he goes away and have some amazing chemistry with Nancy.
So, Jonathan, how's the pullout?
They are a couple in real life, Charlie
Yeah.
Heaton and Natalia Dyer, and they just went with that. It felt like me and my girlfriend we watched that when they just smushed into each other.
Yeah.
We're like, whoa, oh, they know exactly what they're doing.
Oh,
So,
you can actually tell that good.
like, ugh,
Ooh.
okay,
Still, that
so
comment the day after. How's the pullout? Fantastic.
that actor is so good.
Yeah.
Who played uh, like the tinfoil hat sort of character thing. The very embodiment of the 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 Americans being afraid of like Russians and
The government.
yeah, the government, and ooh, they're onto us. They have spies everywhere, and he's like almost there, but like just and it's so crazy to think that that's actually applies very much to today in a way.
Yeah.
That's like, oh, you're almost there in your theories, you just have to get over this fear of this one thing, and maybe you can see the actual truth. If he would just be like, okay, if I take away the Russians from all of this, what do I end up with? Maybe something more plausible. It's a cool. Oh,
See here.
what more happens?
Most of my thoughts are like I'm watching my notes. Like, yeah, they're from the end. But yeah, shout out to Hopper and Al's relationship throughout this series,
Yeah.
this season.
Yeah, definitely.
It's deep, and it goes on so many levels with Hopper. Just
I think
not
they
comparing. God, what's the word? He's making up for his child.
Yeah,
His dad role.
yeah,
Daddy Hopper.
Yeah, they're. Oh,
And Elle's tantrums, her newly discovered teenage mood swings. I don't know what to call it.
oh
I
my
mean, she's
God.
locked up. Who can
Yeah.
blame her?
yeah. That's will be interesting. Oh,
And
I don't know if you noticed. Like there were some places I noticed that I think they had to put sort of stuffing in under David Harbour's clothes to make him a bit like fatter, because
didn't
he's
notice.
not really super. He's kind of fit at the moment because
oh,
he's
so you mean
playing.
he got
He because he going to play Hellboy.
so you mean that
So have you
he's
seen the
training for the-
pictures of
No, I
him
haven't.
as Hellboy? He's fucking ripped. This guy is shredded like it's crazy to
First
look at that.
David
He's-
Harbour. Holy crap! Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
That's
neat.
yeah. So I think they had to like stuff because Jim
Ah.
Hopper is kind of like he's not lazy, but he's definitely not a super trained guy. He doesn't sleep much. He eats a
No,
bunch
exactly.
of junk food. His secretary have to like give him an apple, like put an apple in his hand so he will actually get
Yeah, stop
something.
smoking. Grab an apple. For
Yeah.
fuck's sake.
So that's
Yeah, because I really love the Hopper and Elle storyline. From like he first takes her in of necessity, kind of,
yeah.
and then they just grow closer and closer and closer, and to culminate on that, were you going to bring up the armband?
No. What armband?
This is something I read after the season ended on all the friggin' forums.
Yeah.
Hopper is wearing a bracelet,
Yeah.
a blue bracelet throughout the series
Okay.
that he got from his daughter. That's dead.
Yeah.
Or gone, we don't know. But in the end of the season, during the snowball, which we're going to talk about later,
Yeah.
or soon, Elle is wearing that bracelet.
No, that's I totally missed that. That's a
I
cool
would have
detail.
missed that if I didn't see those forum posts.
Yeah.
And I love that.
I think this is filled with those kind of stuff. They have so
And all those
many
emotional
cool-
moments where Eleven, in the end, when she sits in the car as they're going to seal the rift,
Yeah.
she's like, I've seen Mike for this short time, then I'm going away. And then she just spills, where were you? Where did you go? And she kind of like breaks down, and he just explains that, I'm a black hole, I ruin everything and all that. I just love them.
Yeah. Like I have small like notes like on different things, and one that I wrote down, and this could just be a short thing, like the bigger budget. There was definitely like a much bigger budget than the first season.
Yeah.
Very well distributed, I think.
Mm? Yeah.
What did you think?
About the budget spendings.
Yeah, like it's in Game of Thrones, like I'm going to take up Game of Thrones because that is the biggest biggest series with the biggest budget, and you can sometimes in a few of the seasons you can see where
You see the budget
bulk,
episode.
Yeah, you can see where the bulk of that budget went to.
The Battle of Greenwater Bay or Blackwater Bay. Blackwater Bay.
Stranger Things season 2, like they had like a very fine distribution of it. So
because the quality it has a lot of effects. You have these weird beasts.
Yeah, they had this giant smoke monster, very like
the Mind Flayer.
The Mind Flayer. Love that they're taking it back to D&D.
Yeah. That's a really abstract monster as well.
Yeah,
I love the scene where they see it in the TV, by the way.
Oh, when Joyce discovers it, that was so cool. And it comes back to how they made everything in season 1. Like she solves everything with there was
more puzzles this season.
Yeah, and I think there will never go a season without Joyce completely ruining her house in some way.
Poor house.
It's so good, and she's doing it with her home appliances or like toys. It's a lot. That's a very good wisecrack episode on Stranger Things and their relationship to toys. How everything is like explained on a children's level. And this season was also that, like, it's so much about those crayons or those pens that they drew with. Made that enormous map, and I want to just shortly talk about Sean Astin in this, or his character, more specifically Bob Newby.
Yeah, Bob.
So sad, but I was so happy that Sean Astin was in this because many people are, and I understand. Like they talked about this in Beyond Stranger Things, that they weren't sure if they dared put him in here because he was so famous from Goonies.
Yeah.
His main character in Goonies.
Exactly. But they made a few jokes about it, so that's...
Yeah, and he got to like solve a treasure map.
Yeah.
In this one also, and they made it that way. But he was such a good...
He was a great supporting role, actually. A lot of characters bounced off him.
Mm-hmm. He's like the most I could think was like how happy I was how he was portrayed as a surrogate father figure that was very welcomed by everyone in the family. There was no one of these moody kids.
You're not
that were
deserving of my mother.
Yeah, there was nothing like that, and I was so relieved. Like they enjoyed him. His jokes were funny, and everyone seemed to realize how good he was for the family.
Yeah.
The boys talking about the music, and he's like coming in there and being like, "Oh, I love this very cheesy band. Oh, this is perfect. Like, and they're like smiling and being
I'm an old person.
yeah. I enjoy this old stuff. So it's so he's such a nice character, which is make it so much sadder when it's just murdered.
Superhero Bob.
Yeah, and yeah, you in Beyond Stranger Things they talked even about there were plans to make a more possessed Will that murdered Bob.
Oh yeah,
That was
that
like the
would be.
first draft. That Will would murder Bob like early on in the season.
I'm so happy they went with what they did.
Yeah, yeah,
Because Will murdering someone? Oh, I mean, come on.
yeah. That would be a hard things to like, because I'm so looking
It's,
forward to next season that where I think Will actually
yeah,
be
he will.
a
He
normal.
must do it something.
Yeah, he I hope
He
he's
can't be horizontal for 3 seasons.
yeah. His I think it's good if his next season will be like he's not possessed by anything. He he might know a bunch of stuff. He has all
Yeah.
this knowledge now, maybe, but he
Oh, interesting.
yeah
Yeah, because I mean, the Mind Flayer still lurks.
yeah that's
I'm before we're going into what I mean, should we take what we want to see in season 3, or should we end on that?
I don't know, like season 3. Yeah, we can talk shortly about that in like lastly, but
Yeah.
did you want to talk about the snowball?
Yeah, I want to mention the snowball. Um, just it was such a nice ending to tie up everything.
Yeah,
You have all the characters being there, Jonathan helping out as well as Nancy, Hopper and Joyce being able to share some feelings
yeah,
outside,
yeah,
and then everything that happened inside, that Lucas and Max found each other, Elle and Mikey got there. Yeah, I mean, they're back together
yeah,
again. I could care less if they were and weren't love interests, but I'm just happy that 11 is back in the gang.
yeah.
And that just cements itself. That, like I say, I'm not sure how I feel about her being the love interest, because I would totally be okay with her being one of the gang, but I'm just happy she's back.
That that is a bit sad that both girls that now is in the gang together with like they are love
Yeah,
interests. Um, I
and also the Dustin scene.
um,
I mean,
the one where he looks for a girl to dance with.
first he looks around, he feeling all confident. Steve has pumped him up like, yeah, guy, yeah, boy, you got this. You're the fucking best.
Yeah,
He's all confidence, goes up, realizes that no, this it's as it always is.
yeah,
It wasn't the hair. It's me. It's me that's
yeah.
the fault. And then he just breaks down, and all the way to the pity dance from
From
Nancy.
Nancy, yeah.
It was so. It felt so. I don't want to say real,
Yeah.
but I think it comes. The idea from it comes from a very real place
Yeah.
of this, like,
That's
oh, what should I call it? Not false confidence, but I mean, kids. Kids suck.
because I mean that comes off in a very nice way of how we have interacted with Dustin throughout the season. We enjoyed Dustin since the first season.
Yeah.
Mostly, I like. Oh, he's so adorable. He's amazing. He's like this really interesting character. But if you actually like detach his like what we see on the screen and see, oh god, yeah, he has been kind of detached from the entire group. He's doing his own thing. He doesn't really like he
Yeah, he's
wants
a bit weird.
like so the things that he's doing, yeah, people should be a bit like, oh, what do you think you're doing? Like, he's he is a bit of a weirdo, and it also a bit of like he just assumes things about people, and
Yeah, he's a bit awkward,
yeah, and
and that's also, as you say, also why we connect with him so
mm,
much, because not
yeah.
we.
So so that's could be an interesting thing for next season to actually see Dustin be
Yeah, him
more of
moving
a
forward.
yeah be actually evolving in that sense, being like, yeah, like I should actually care about the people I have around me, and try to be the best person I can, and be
Yeah,
more honest to them.
maybe maybe the next season might focus more on them sticking up, keeping
Yeah,
as
they have
staying
always,
together as a team,
yeah,
since they all found some girls now.
yeah, and oh, that's going to be interesting. But the
Do we
thing
want?
with all the experiments, that's going to be interesting for next season.
Yeah, are we going to
Yeah, we could jump
delve deep
over.
more
We can
into? Huh?
we can talk about next season, like what we. It's like
Did you want to discuss episode 7 first?
oh, I even wrote that down. Good boy there. Like yeah, but like yeah, season episode 7. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
it's fine.
self-contained.
It's self-contained. Her long-lost sister is playing the role as the old wizard.
Yeah, it it's not very intrusive. People say that it cuts off the season, but in the same
It's
way,
more.
it's like an episode.
Yeah,
I
it's a
would have,
bottle episode.
yeah, I would have been much more, like I would have been much more disturbed if by it if they had tidbits of the others storylines within there, but like the bulk of that episode would be 11. Like then it would feel detached.
Mm.
But as it was now, I could see myself going back and just watching episode 7, or
Mm.
maybe next time I see the this, if I watch the season again, I could completely skip episode 7.
Yeah.
In a way, like yeah, I'd and if that's a positive or a negative, I don't know.
Mm.
Some cool stuff happened in there. I didn't really care about all the other punk rockers that she met, though. They were
No, I
crazy
think the
characters.
build-up. I think their build-up is what's weird, because they introduced the season with them,
Yeah,
and then nothing for 7 episodes.
and then just that episode, and then nothing else.
Yep.
But
I
like,
think that's what
yeah,
because they introduced it that, oh, this is gonna be central. This is the new gang that they have to fight against. No, they just show up.
yeah. It's sort of intriguing though, the idea of maybe there being 10,
More survival.
like yeah, more numbers out there. She was number 8, right? The girl.
I have no idea.
I think she had number 8 or something. So, but there should be at least 11 experiments.
Yeah, if they all survived.
Yeah.
We don't
So
know.
so, I that could be cool, but it could like get into like a heroes territory, the serious
Yeah.
heroes, and or X-Men. And I don't
Find all
know
the mutants.
that, like, I don't know. It's going to be 4 seasons. They have said like definitely like it's going to be 4 seasons. We don't want to drag on it, which is good. But being like, do we want like, I don't know, do we want more experiments to show up and be like, yeah, the end thing is going to be all this enormous monster and all of these experiments with all these powers standing up against it? I don't know. That doesn't seem
maybe.
like. I hope it doesn't actually, like, going back to the budget stuff. I hope they don't have to go bigger necessarily. I
No.
think they could
Okay.
keep it here. This one monster was very, like, keep it to one monster a season, like maybe taking him back, or it could be ganska, maybe cool if they had a bit of the season 3 being, oh, he still exists there, is there a way we could stop him? And they sort of stop him, but then that thing transform into what's actually something more tangible. I don't know. I want something more tangible. I don't really like the particle effect monster idea.
No,
It's,
I mean, it's too abstract.
yeah, it's creepy in the way that I get it, like it creeps in and gets everywhere.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, oh, it's Lovecraftian. I want something big from coming down from the sky, like like something like tentacle, or just, I don't know. Watch the Mist, something that appears in the end of the Mist, to show up. But yeah, we'll see.
So, is there anything
Oh,
special you can think about, except for that you think might show up in season 3 or more later on?
I think this is their big villain.
Yeah.
And
Or is it? Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know. I'm fine with them building upon this creature.
Yeah, me too.
It was a good idea to being like, yeah, the Demogorgon was creepy in the first season, but there is something, but that was more like an animal, and
Exactly.
this is more sentient.
Yeah, it's the true evil.
Yeah, and they sort of playing around with the. I get a weird, like, Pennywise the clown feeling around him. And they sort of alludes to that with Bob talking about his fear being of a specific clown, and he sort of make a parallel to that. And the bullies that I first thought was in Will's head that called him Zombie Boy during Halloween night,
Yeah.
they showed to be real, because both Bob and Joyce saw them on the video,
Yeah.
which was like, oh god, what are influencing them to be like, yeah, is because they're so much older. Are they really this mean to Will? Is he like, why? I mean, of course, bullies will be bullies, but it feels like the whole town is influenced, just like in Stephen King's It. The town there being influenced by this evil that surrounds it. And this is literally like a giant evil thing that has its roots in around the whole town, in both in
Yeah, it's influencing.
both in the Upside Down, where you see its roots in the sky, but now in season 2 all the roots are in under the ground, because it's a mirror. It's mirroring itself.
Yeah, it's mirroring and it's breaking through
So it's
some way.
I think that's sort of the idea, and I love how they do all. It's so smart. I think I
Just rolling with that
I think I
bully thing. The character Billy they introduced this season.
Oh, should we just
Max's
Yeah.
brother.
Oh yeah.
That's something I 100% believe they're going to deep dive on next season.
Yeah.
Because he's such an 80s cool dude.
Yeah.
But there's something more. And they hint so hard at that with his dad, like, yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely. Oh,
There's
that's
so much with that character I want them to explore because, first of all, Steve had a redemption story.
yeah.
Question is this guy going to have a redemption story as well, where we
I
actually
th-
understand why he's being like the way he
I
is?
think he's
How,
so
what is his
much.
connection to the family? Is he part of the family?
Yeah, I think he's too much of a sociopath to actually get a true redeeming story. But maybe we could.
Have an explanation?
Yeah, I think we and this is something that the the Duffer Brothers
Yeah.
talked about in Beyond Stranger Things a bit. Like they were like, yes, Steven was supposed to be like the bully throughout the entirety of Stranger Things, but he got so likable, and the actor made him so likable. So they're like, yeah, we want to make a sort of
Yeah, I mean, come on,
redeeming.
look at him.
What? What did you say?
No, I said, just look at Steve. You can't hate him.
Yeah, and now like he like protects the children and everything in this season. So they were like, oh my god, we just have to, just like the Demogorgon was a creepy thing that we hated in first season, that now in season 2 just got a bigger, even worse thing. Our human bully got an upgrade, sort of like, yeah, this is, and in every way they show Bill to be this new force in the school, like he, or in town in general, like he's there, he's taking over, he's doing all these stupid things, and yeah, uh, it's a fun actor they chose, because they're like, let's choose the most handsome actor we could get, and they got the guy that played in Power Rangers, the new Power Rangers movie. He's the leader in that movie. So yeah. Um, yeah, it's.
Hmm.
Is there anything like you want to end on?
Um, I don't think so. Just maybe we get more of Hopper's story later on.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah, probably, I would say.
Yeah.
We must have more of him, about his backstory, about his daughter, his former wife.
I just. Hmm. I'm just trying to look through all these posts for the hairband thing. They're getting more and
Okay.
more. Like, did I actually read this right?
Oh.
I'll have to check it up.
Yeah.
Look it up later, so I don't spread misinformation.
We don't want to do that. Yeah. Our verdict.
No, I think that pretty much wraps up our
Yeah.
thoughts about the season.
It's
I
cool.
think we're all looking forward to towards the next one.
Yeah. It's gonna be a long time.
Yeah,
the
it's
kids.
gonna be a wait.
Ooh, Stranger Things and Netflix struggle against puberty. That's
Yeah,
it's going to be fun to. It's fun to
ride.
see these actors grow up, like see what happens there.
Yeah, I hope the best for them.
Miley Bobby Brown is freaking British.
Ah, she's all over the place.
She's
Fantastic.
British.
Yeah,
Isn't she?
she's fantastic.
Yeah, but in Beyond Stranger Things, she's talking with a British accent, I think.
Yeah.
No, she was born in Spain to British parents. They moved to Orlando, Florida in 2011. Okay. That's crazy in that age to have that good American accent. The same goes with Charlie Heaton.
Mhm.
He was born in Yorkshire,
Hmm.
and he's so American in this. I'm keep on being just astounded by
Yeah, they're
by actors, but
really.
especially young actors that just
Yeah, I
I
mean,
have this
bitchin'.
accent and I can just take that accent away. That's crazy. Yeah,
So good.
so good. Yeah, I've gotten
So
more hyped talking to you
yeah,
right now about Stranger Things, and I'm like, yeah, this informed me like with all the references we talked about, how they like parallels to how we as a viewer thinks about characters in this.
yeah. I mean, I have had so many discussions over this with my friends,
Mm-hmm.
other friends.
Oh
Sorry.
no, we live in different parts of
Yeah.
this tall country.
No, with the people I lived in at my old school,
Yeah.
and I mean, each time we've been mentioning Stranger Things, it's like it's Hype Fest 2000.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, can you imagine this? Oh shit, maybe if this happens.
Oh, it's
I mean, the hype.
the hype is real.
All the best to the actors. They're doing a terrific job.
Yeah, and the Duffer Brothers.
Oh yeah.
May they go on to do more cool things. I love there's a good streak for brothers doing the directing. Like
Yeah.
I enjoy what the Captain America movies are, and that's made by Russo brothers, and I think that helps being two brothers, two bros, just writing and directing together, because you can like throw scripts around between each other and could be brutally honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you all for listening. Our links to our stuff is on the screen and everything, and it's thanks, and next
this
time.
episode we're not going. Yeah. Continue.
No, yeah,
Nothing
we're not
going to
going.
say.
We're not going to. Next time is going to be December, so which means it's the end of the year. So we just going to like list like top things or whatever, the
Wrap up the year.
wrap up.
Maybe have a drink. What?
Oh, nice. Yeah, we should. Unfortunately, I don't think.
No.
It's so late. I will get to. Oh, if we would meet each other and do it like doing it live, that would have been cool. But we'll see. Probably not. Anyway,
Thanks for listening.
yeah, keep on loving things and put things on that shelf, I guess. I don't have a tagline for this, but anyway.
I mean.
See ya.